Good afternoon, NIFT Patna. Please, we need a huge round of applause for Ms. Anju Modi, who is here amongst us. And
with a career spanning nearly 4 decades, Ms. Anju Modi is a celebrated fashion designer known for a deep-rooted commitment to Indian textiles, craftsmanship, and historical research. She has been instrumental in reviving dying art forms, working across 24 remote villages in India to reintegrate traditional weaving and embroidery techniques. Her visionary approach has brought these heritage crafts into modern fashion landscapes, making them relevant for contemporary retail.
beyond fashion, Ms. Anju Modi's expertise extends into the world of cinema, where she has left an indelible mark as a costume designer for some of Bollywood's most visually stunning films. Her work in Bajirao, Mastani, Golio Ki Ramleela, and Sye Raa by Narasimha Reddy has garnered her prestigious awards, including the Filmfare Awards, IIFA, and QIFA Awards, solidifying her place as a master of historical and period costume designer.
Her research-driven approach, attention to detail, and passion for storytelling through fabric has made her one of the most sought-after designers in the industry. Today, she is recognized for her ability to seamlessly blend history with modernity, ensuring that every design carries a rich cultural narrative.
In this special masterclass in collaboration with NIFT, Ms. Anju Modi will take us through her fascinating journey from script to screen, unraveling the intricate process of costume design and its profound impact on the fashion world. We would now like to invite ma'am on the stage and ask her to please kindly start this masterclass.
So, hello everyone. Very good afternoon. And I'm so excited to see the young minds and very eager to interact with you. I am now old school, so it will be a great interaction with the new thoughts and my kind of thoughts when I was as young as you. And it has been really a pleasure and a great honor for me to be here and share my journey, my experiences, my learnings with you. And we can start whenever you all are ready. There is one story which I would like to share, and I believe everyone must have read that. It's Jonathan Livingston Seagull. I think whoever hasn't read it, they can raise their hand. Rather than I'm asking everyone to raise their hand, आप उल्टा करें, जिसने ना पढ़ी हो वो बताएं. ओह माय गॉड, ये तो 10-15 लोग हैं जिन्होंने ये किताब नहीं पढ़ी है. So it's a beautiful philosophical small little book about a seagull, a Livingston seagull. It's a bird, and the effort to excel than what it is and keep on improvising, excelling and reaching the new heights. The story is all about that. And it very much applies on all of you, the design student, who are into this creative field. So there is no limit to any kind of learning, any kind of design perfection. There is always something beyond. And this particular book has been my inspiration from the beginning. Even before I started my designing career, I was very much inspired and motivated by this bird's thought process that you just have to keep on kind of aspiring to the higher heights, how to carry on. तकलीफ हो, आप थक गए हो, पंख टूट गए हो, तो भी आप कैसे ऊंचे से ऊंचा उड़ना चाहते हो. That will be my basic message to all of you. And I think my journey is about that. And when I shared my master class, you will understand and realize that it wasn't a cakewalk. It was very much huge push, and I can say perseverance and patience and out of the box thinking also most of the time. So okay, let's start.
Now we will see a video on my ma'am's journey.
In your words, the design is to transform prose into poetry. Can you please tell us about your journey in the world of costume design? What inspired you to pursue this field?
When I say to design is to transform prose into poetry is actually designing is a very much like a thought process where you are in a flow, and it's going to be quite lyrical in a way, like it has to have a very beautiful poetic and romanticism inside you to go with the flow, and that is what the poetry actually means to me too. कि आप जो कुछ कहना चाहते हैं उसमें कोई एक फ्लो होना चाहिए. डिज़ाइन अगर चल रही है तो उसके अंदर कोई स्ट्राइव कर रहे हैं, हम कुछ बहुत ज़्यादा सोच विचार के नहीं करना चाहिए. ये आपके अपने उस जोन में चले जाएं जहाँ से वो आपको फ्लो करे. तो दैट डिज़ाइन ऑलवेज वर्क्स द बेस्ट. एंड एज फॉर द कॉस्ट्यूम डिज़ाइन, तो आई थिंक योर क्वेश्चन was how did I start the costume designing?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so well, I was already working in many craft sectors all over India, which is Gujarat, South, Kerala, even Madras, Tamil Nadu, Banaras, and even in Kashmir, Rajasthan. Many, say like 24 villages I have, developed my designs with these craft people. And since my work was very much with the craft-centric design ideas, Sanjay Leela and Sally found me instead of me going to him and asking कि it never occurred to me कि मैं कभी फिल्म की कॉस्ट्यूम डिज़ाइन कर सकती हूँ, बट उन्होंने जब मेरा काम देखा तो उनकी ऑफिस से मेरे पास प्रपोजल आया कि आप इस तरह से हमें गुजरात की एक फिल्म बना रहे हैं जिसमें उन्हें ऑथेंटिक गुजरात चाहिए, कॉस्ट्यूम्स चाहिए और उनको बिल्कुल वो अपने पुराने टाइम की जो एक गांव की फीलिंग होती है वो चाहिए. सो ऑब्वियसली आई हैड ऑलरेडी वर्क इन भुज, जामनगर, कच्छ. So all these previous knowledge and experience came handy, and that's how I started doing the costume designing for the movie. And well, that is completely another experience.
Now we would like to see a video.
So, this is screenplay couture, right? So, this is the poster design which was done for the movie Ramleela, and like you see, majorly the research and concept is very important. And we really have to sit with the script story session, which is a very like a serious affair, where the director, the stage director, the actors, and each creative team of the film, they will sit and the script writer will narrate the story. So we really have to understand the story, the emotions, the actor, lifestyle, and what exactly are the costumes going to support the film. So everyone is just absorbing their own field work, the stage, the set designer, the director, and myself as a costume designer, and the actors. So we all have to work in tandem to really create a new look which is supportive to the storytelling exercise. And over here, when we were doing this particular, this is a costume poster ke liye tha, which is a very Gujarati way of skirt. And then I did another skirt. Yeah, this is the research work which I did. And then there is another one which I did for the song Lahu Mo Lagya. Okay, these are the explanations which I did with the sketches, and we have to send the sketches beforehand to the director Sanjay ji, and he was very appreciative, of course. And over here the sketch has to be so very detailed, and this had to be converted and manifested into an actual costume. So while this is a holy song, and when Sanjay ji asked me कि आप होली पे क्या बनाना चाहोगे, तो I said कि very cliche, I don't want to give a full white outfit, and since it is Gujarat and dye sector, so I said why don't we do a huge big circles on the skirt and white billets, gulam, and red cupid white circles like that. And then I created this three-layered look. So while she does the garba, and if any Gujaratis here, they will understand the garba dance, the way the skirt moves. So that was a beautiful, beautiful, picture which came out. And when Deepika wore this costume, she said, "I'm so glad I'm feeling like doing the garba day and night." And even Satyaji appreciated a lot, and he showed me the lashes and said, "मेरी तो निगाह ही नहीं हटती, मेरे तो in red and white circles भी मेरे तो आँखें अटक जाती हैं." And so many great praises I got. But of course, the design just came as a flash to me. And I didn't want to give a typical bandhani or a typical white outfit as usually the holy song the actresses are supposed to wear on the holy day. So one of those kind of free out of the box thinking also that comes handy at that time. I used a bit of a butch weave also into one of the layers. So that is the way the idea got transformed. What's the next slide, please?
Ma'am, we have a question for you. While it is well understood that research is a core component of your costume design, do you have a preferred method for researching for a particular character? Ma'am, do you have a preferred method of researching for a particular character, or ma'am, do you have a preferred method of researching for a particular character?
Oh, there is no preferred method. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, but even while you design something which is there in your own thought, it's not even on your paper or it hasn't manifested. So a bit of a scientific approach towards that is that we as a designer has a great visualization power, and when we are thinking, by God's grace, I could visualize the whole costume, outfit in my mind. And then we do the sketches. So when we do the sketching with the proportions, that's also very important to keep on thinking that if I put the red strokes here and put a border here and there, so you are always in your thinking and sketching along with it. And then of course there is another very scientific method of processing the costume, which you must be learning at this time, that you start with the pattern, then you take how much average the fabric will be required, then you start with your dyeing and your other embroidery processes and then stitching and so and so. So I always say that do it like stepwise. Okay, first is the pattern and the fabric requirement, and of course understanding the fabric and how will it fall. Because if you make a cotton khadi skirt, it will have a different fall. So you have to understand the pattern accordingly. But if you take a chiffon, it will have a different pattern altogether. It will have a different fall altogether. So a lot of understanding is required to get into the depth of the fabric and then process it from there. And I think that's how you guys are here in this training school. So give importance to these little logical, common sense ideas also. So I would not say it just happens with the magic wand. There are many trials and errors also. जब आपकी चीजें कुछ गलत कट जाती होंगी और फिर वो जब बन के खड़ी होती होंगी, तो I think instead of feeling sorry about it, we used to have great laughs at our own studio. मतलब मैं assistants को कहती थी कुछ गलती बना लाते थे, तो हम तो कहते हैं क्या लग रहा है, चिपकली लग रही है, what are you doing? This is looking like a monkey's costume. So we should have that kind of attitude also. कि अगर गलती हो गई है तो वो भी सीखने के लिए है. So not to worry about it. But of course, while doing the movies, we didn't get that kind of liberty. हमें काफी time restraint होता था और very quickly one has to come out with the right product. So thank God I had the previous experience of some 15 years of my career before I got a costume of one. What's the next? I'm going a little away from the questions whatever I've prepared, that's okay, I'm going with the flow as I said. Okay, so this is also one of the same thing. And the script was there and I would like to share the script with you. Is there any script? Danu? Yeah, so this is the script. I wanted you to understand what is script. So the script is so important where every action is, written down. Where it is saying that, in the movie, all of you must have seen the movie. So Leela is played by Deepika Padukone. So she is kind of following the gesture that you do this by the neck, you do this and all that. The gestures of Ram, which is Ranveer Singh. So all of it is written in the script. And why is it written? Because it is kind of showing the costume designer and the actor, actresses, everyone, that it's a little naughty phase of theirs. So the costume which I am thinking has to be very fun-loving and naughty. It cannot be a very serious kind of a dressing. So these are important where, even the, Ram holds the gaze with Ramleela and all these kind of expressions are written. So one can understand that script is a complete written down version of the movie. Where even if the हवा चल रही है, आंधी आ रही है, दरवाजा ची करके बंद हो रहा है, ये सब भी लिखा होता है. So the director and the script writer works very closely while they are writing the script, and this is done before the movie has even started getting shot. So the same process applies to us designers. Like before the costumes have even started getting made, we do the sketching. And that's why I shared all the sketches with you guys. Because while you are doing the sketching, you visualize the whole garment much more accurately. So that's why the screenplay to the screen is the caption for this chapter. कहते हम कितना देखेंगे? Okay, this one is another one. It's a South movie, Sye Raa Reddy, and Amitabh Bachchan ji was the guru of this film's actor, and it is a story of the independence time. Before even that Jhansi Ki Rani episode had happened. I mean, just Jhansi Ki Rani episode had happened, and then there is one character, it's a true story. So, Narasimha Reddy was the character from the common man who also kind of challenged the Britishers. And Amitabh Bachchan was the guru of that particular clan. So, there is a very important screenplay. And these movies also carries a message, especially these kind of Independence Day movies and certain, where the movie makers want to convey set an ideology and a message to the society. So this particular script was very, very beautifully written. And when I was hearing the whole script with the whole team, for that team was also there. So everybody got tears in their eyes while they were listening to the script. And it is a very, very serious session where no one is supposed to knock on the door. They are not even allowed to speak. Everyone is completely transported to the movie time. So the visualization of everyone is complete. So while the script was being made, there was a message which was very beautiful, which I don't think you people can read it. If I can read. So Narasimha Reddy had gone and killed some of the Britishers. So Amitabh Bachchan ji is explaining to him, why did you kill that Britisher? He said, because he had done some, not so right. I wanted justice for my clan. So he said, how many can you kill? He said, 10 of them. Then Amitabh asked, what next? Narasimha Reddy said, then I will kill 10 more of them. Amitabh as a guru is saying, they won't sit idle, right? They would kill you too. So Narasimha is saying, it's better to die than living like a slave. I will kill them and die. So Amitabh is saying, so with your death, nothing would be achieved. And then he explains, from hundreds of years, the same thing has been repeating, continuing. Killing someone is not the ultimate goal. Winning should be our goal. To win, you need to do a war. To do a war, you need to gather an army. You can't win the war single-handedly. To gather an army, you need to create them. To wage a war, against the British, a war within you should initiate. So that's a very profound message which Gosai Venkana was the name of Ramleela in the movie. So all these kind of deeper thoughts also gets conveyed, and while we are working with them, and it was a huge, huge privilege for me to work with Amitabh and understand his depth and his professionalism and his, kind of, everybody knows it, what can I say, he is kind of like a complete charismatic person. So when I addressed him, that was a huge privilege for me, and he appreciated again. I was showing him the colors and combinations. He said, नहीं जो आप पहनाओगे मैं पहन लूँगा आपके ऊपर मुझे पूरा भरोसा है. So all these things are very encouraging, and they keep on, giving you the energy to carry on with the tough job. So the whole persona was beautiful, though his dressing was very simple, South Indian way of wearing a dhoti and a dushala. So all the dushalas were weaved, especially I wish I could have come to Bihar by that time. Maybe I could have taken one of the Pavan Putis as a dushala for him. So it was a huge, nice vegetable dye color combinations. And I'm talking of 1850s kind of time frame. So in those days, our country was already doing vegetable dye kind of things. They were not into the chemical dyes or anything. We were very much natural, authentic textile people. So that was the idea while I did this movie, to bring the authenticity of that era now. So it was a great experience, all these sketches and the research, and this is Chiranjeevi who was acting as Narasimha Reddy. Again the sketches and everything is required. So we have to keep the era in mind, and why would they wear the dhotis in those times? because they were always riding the horses. So a practical approach towards the attire has always been the reason for designing, because we have to design the attire as per the need. And I think that's a very, very literal meaning of the designer, that you are not some, glamorous personality. You are actually doing a job of designing the garment as per requirement of that particular state, era, country, or however, as I did for the movies, the costume designing. So you need to understand the meaning of design in the right way. This is also one of the actresses, Tamanna. So I can say my lucky stars that I could interact with all of these mega stars. And the one thing which is very humbling to me was that they are all so very hardworking, professional and true to their craft. Nobody were having any kind of tantrums, neither Amitabh or for that matter, neither Deepika Padukone or Priyanka Chopra or anyone. So one has to learn that even if you reach to pinnacle of your, peak of your success, even then you need to have your feet on the ground and be very true to your craft and professional. So that's why you are studying and understanding. You can just take it as important factor in your complete attitude. This one is another one, Bajirao Mastani. I think very, very challenging. And one very interesting factor is, rather challenging factor is, that we have to make many duplicates for the movie. Okay, this is my research for the Bajirao Mastani. I went to Ajanta Ellora caves and वहाँ पे मुझे चिकनगुनिया हो गया, किसी मच्छर ने काट लिया. And I couldn't understand this stupid illness of mine, chikungunya. I couldn't even bend my knees and very, very painful. And I said, how will I ever do the movie? And I went into the yoga treatment by doing some exercises and all Ayurvedic medicines. So can you imagine my plight, that I got this illness called chikungunya, which takes 9 to 10 months to get cured, and I have a movie in front of me which I need to make the costumes in the next 30 days. And so the determination to get my illness, corrected, and so I went into complete Ayurvedic natural treatment and got myself treated in a month's time, maybe 20-25 days. But I was adamant, चाहे कुछ भी हो, मैंने ये movie करनी है. So I did all these sketches, and again the same script writing, script understanding is required. So I can leave this whole thing later on. You guys can understand the script, what is there to really understand this whole. How do you imagine the costume? Without reading the script, it will not come to you because you would not know what to do. And we have to understand the emotions of that character also. So this particular costume was again made completely out of the box, where Sanjay ji was saying, why don't we make something which is, totally red or white. I said, well, Mastani is a character coming from, faraway land. So it has to be something very charismatic. It cannot be white, red or anything like that. So then he asked me, आप क्या सोच रही हैं, क्या कलर हो सकता है. And just a color flashed in my mind. I said, why don't we do धानी color? तो हमारे ज़माने में धानी कलर कहते थे जो बिल्कुल ट्रांसलूसेंट कांच की चूड़ियों का रंग होता था, and मेहंदी कलर होता था, which is translucent and it has a little golden tinge to it, and it's very difficult to achieve that color. So he understood. Sanjay ji would, of course, will understand. He became very excited. He said, okay, now within a week you have to send me this outfit. And मेरी जो टीम थी वो बिल्कुल परेशान हो गई, मैम आपने क्या धानी कलर कह दिया, what is this धानी? Then I had to print the mehndi. I kind of poured a bit of gold in it and made a liquid form of that, and I said, well, this is dhani. Now get the color dye from the dyer and get on with the work. So we created this costume. The page is not giving justice. The dress, what you can see on Deepika, is actually the right color. So that we achieved, and it was a huge success. And in the last so many years, I think I must have made more than 100 costumes for the people. Everybody wanted to have this Bajirao Mastani costume for their mehendi dance in their wedding. And happily I kept on making. And they wanted this particular, but in the Diwani Mastani song, she was wearing that particular turban also. So a lot of people, a lot of girls demanded that turban also. And that turban was also very challenging to get made. I had to go to Pune to a very old turban maker, much older than me. And उसको मैंने बोला आप बनाओ जो उस जमाने में बनती थी, जो it's a story of 17th century. So he could understand, he tried, and he made all the turbans for Ranveer Singh also. And okay, the turban was inspired by that picture. If you can come back. When we did the research, there is only one picture available of Mastani on the internet. So that was the transformation of the Mastani into the actual costume.
Is it better? ये सुन भी रहा है? आप लोग को आवाज आ रही है? अरे वाह! This was something very, वो भी रहते. Okay, so this one is another one. Carry on. हो गया, बहुत बातें कर ली कॉस्ट्यूम के बारे में. अच्छा, ये अगेन राजा रवि वर्मा की पेंटिंग से इंस्पायर्ड प्रियंका चोपड़ा's costumes were made, काशीबाई. Another very interesting experience was, like, we had to give 9 yard sari, and my weavers, I had to request them कि आप 6 गज के बदले पुराने ज़माने की 9 yard saris बनाओ. And when we had to have the duplicates, so Sanjay ji suddenly asked me कि मुझे इसकी duplicate चाहिए because इस पे वो रंगोली गिरेगी, and when the scene is getting short, so it's not only one take, there are many takes. तो जब वो होली गिर गई, उसके ऊपर रंगोली गिर गई, तो रंग हो गया, फिर से वो स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं, तो they have to have another fresh garment again. तो ऐसे ही हमारी चलती रहती थी नेगोशिएशन. मैंने कहा ओके, आई विल गिव यू 4 डुप्लीकेट्स फॉर दैट रंगोली सीन. फिर उससे नहीं, मुझे 6 चाहिए. देन आई वुड से अच्छा ठीक है, लेट मी मैनेज 5, बिकॉज कहाँ से बनाएगा वीवर, यू नो हाउ स्लो इट इज. सो कैसे भी मैनेज करके यूज टू हैव लाइक दीज काइंड ऑफ डिमांड्स, somehow managed to meet them and carry on the next one. Yeah, this is one thing is very interesting is that Ranveer Singh is actually a very serious, professional, talented actor, but a lot of fun on the sets. He will carry on doing whatever fun he will on the Ramleela sets, but on the Bajirao set, he will ask everyone to call him Ram. Nobody is supposed to, kind of उससे छेड़खानी नहीं कर सकते थे. अगर वो अपनी vanity कार में तैयार होने गए हैं, and after that when he is coming out after getting ready, each and everyone, including Sanjay ji and myself, we have to call him Rao, which is Bajirao, because he will be totally into the character. So one cannot imagine कि इतना serious, committed role कोई कैसे कर सकता है. So, and that's why they are there where they are, and that's why these movies do all those kind of 500 crores and 1000 crores kind of business, because they are dealing with the complete psychology of the world. And you can imagine the kind of confidence and conviction the director has to have in his project, to invest that kind of money and then see it through and then launch it and then sit back and relax and enjoy the fruits. And in a very smaller level, the same thing happened to me also, because while I'm making behind the costumes, it's the same kind of, जैसे कहते हैं ना, I was eating costumes, I was breathing costumes, I was, sleeping and living with it only. The whole thought process was only there. And that's how those important flashes come to you. And then you take it from there. You are in that zone. Okay, so enough of the costumes, I think. What's there? Okay, these are a lot of ghera, 80 meters of ghera in this particular dress. And to show this kind of costume, Sanjay ji was creative enough to make him throw the dagger in a way कि वो पूरा घेरा घूम के दिखाई पड़े. I mean, I felt so proud of my whole team and myself all together.
Ma'am, looking at this particular visual, I'm rather curious to know, how do you balance the artistic vision of a character with the practical needs of the producer, such as the budget, comfort, scenography required for the entire filming schedule?
The best part is, am I audible? Or shall I take this?
Yes, ma'am, you're not audible without the mic.
Yeah. So, the comfort is a very, very important factor. Aesthetic appeal is there, of course, but if it is not properly fitted and comfortable, the actors have to forget about their costume before they start acting. They have to emote, they have to deliver their dialogues, so they cannot be fidgeting with their costume. So the fitting was very important, and that's where the technical pattern making part comes important into your subject. And every scene ke pehle there is usually operating session, because the body tends to have even an itch here and there. But then before the scene will start, a tailor used to be having to have at the sets, and I have to fit the costume to the T again. चाहे वो हाथों पर खाएं जो मर्जी करें. I mean, a huge dance movements were there. So that fitting part requires a lot of technical expertise, and that's why films are there all over the country. आपको पढ़ाने सिखाने के लिए.
I request the king to please play a BTS video.
Okay, some fun video you can watch. and excited. I can see them as a new family in the world of the money. And you can find out the world of the gathering and the growing world, that actually, and progress outside in the world is all of them. I recognize so many activities that I can attach to each one of them. Understanding that I have to talk to the but understanding of color and stuff, I can be character and both clothes I can I think you very different characters. One of the children will start with one character as Ramleela, and I have to take my family and after that with my everything, loving, completely is a family. And I think that I'm after that.
One has noticed and admired the blending of sound research and craftsmanship techniques in your design. So much so that now it is known to be your design process. Can you share with us how did this come to being? Did you plan this perhaps as a business strategy or was it simply your calling?
It was my calling, to go to the villages and explore. I was always a very, from my early years, I used to sketch a lot, and my childhood days where all the Raja Ravi Verma paintings were all around and all. So that was my natural inspirations which were there at the time. But then when I got the chance to explore the villages for the textiles, somehow it just drew me there and I kept on going from one village to another, learn whatever the techniques and that particular village, what kind of method, whether it's quilting or weaving or even embroideries. And I think that was one of the very major part of my journey which made me what I am today, because I stayed with them. I understood the simple, loving way of living life. And when you are doing these kind of artistic, time-taking craft endeavors, whether it's embroidery or weaving, one has to really be in a meditative state. And as you all understand, that meditative state is a peaceful state. And a peaceful person is a loving person. So the whole of the spirituality was there in these areas wherever I visited. So I think that has built my character, and I am kind of a person who sees goodness in each and every person, and then after that these were the formation years for me. Then I then carried on one after another. The fashion show happened, and the costume journey happened. So and so, it carried on, it kept on evolving, and I enjoyed all the way thoroughly. And one has to understand the commercial side of it also, because ultimately you have to have kind of profits to pay back the artisans and your employers. So everything you learned on the way, I learned on the way, and I still feel this is my calling, because I have a vision of setting up a research and development design center where all of India's 20-30 crafts, people can come, and wherever it happens, and I think NIFT will be one of the partners, because I had a presentation with Piyush Goyal, who was the textile minister sometime back, and then he has given it to the DG of NIFT the responsibility to make it happen. So let's see, whenever it happens, all of you students will get a chance to develop your own design and these crafts. At this moment you are restricted to one craft or another, but this vision of mine is that we have all the 20-30 craft-centric cottages at one place, which is maybe Delhi Jaipur highway or somewhere. So it will materialize someday. So I think that's my calling, and I thoroughly enjoy it, get the energy out of this work. This is my ikigai, as you all must have heard about this Japanese word. This was again a collection which was being made for Ramleela, but then I had to contemporize it and bring it to the fashion world. So all these elements and those a bit of Gujarati area and everything. So that is one part, that while I was in the movie costume making zone, how did I manage the fashion front? Because my business was running side by side. So I very cleverly took the same theme of Gujarat and converted it into a fashion garment, and which was a huge success, which you can see. What was the name of this particular collection? I forgot. Military collection, yes, but they can watch it on YouTube if you share the name of this collection. Autumn-winter 30 collection by Anju. It was a military collection, and I think it was a steel magnolia was the name, right? Okay. The steel magnolia means that magnolia is a very, very delicate, fragile flower, and as one understands that even femininity is very fragile, the women are very fragile, but I made it a name as steel magnolia. So the woman has a very steely power within them, acquired power force, which all of you will realize, especially the boys for. They appreciate the quiet voice of a woman behind every feminine person. This was inspired by, I did Bajirao Mastani, so it was more Sye Raa, Lehenga and all those kind of the Mughal thing, which I did for the contemporary fashion. So I got some of my, embroidery samples, etc., which later on they can see there, just to understand that if you develop certain designs, what all goes behind the sampling. So I've got some 3-4 books with me for you to just go through that. This was another collection which I did for Kashikari, which was a Navali sari, and I did this collection called Damayanti, inspired by Raja Ravi Verma paintings.
In today's masterclass, I'm sure many in the audience who are in awe of your work would want to know, how do you approach designing costumes for a new production or project? Can you walk us through your creative process?
I have a very practical and logical process to the design development, and that's a SOP which I have kind of done in my company, and Shivam, my assistant, is with me, and so we have 4 stages of it. The very first stage is concept, storytelling, to create a story, to have a narrative, and do your research, do your color story, what is coming to your mind, mood board. So that's the first stage. The second stage is, you have to go little practical in terms of what kind of fabric is required to do justice to the storyline. And then the third stage is when you do the bit of embroideries or some surface ornamentation and pattern making and everything. And then of course the fourth process is when you are supposed to completely cut and stitch the outfit. So it's a very methodical way of allowing your mind to process it. You cannot allow your mind to go scattered. कि अभी स्टोरी लाइन सोच रहे हैं फिर सडनली आप कलर सोच रहे हो, सडनली आप एम्ब्रॉयडरी सोच रहे हो. You have to train your mind to focus on that particular phase. If there are 4 chapters, then do it in the 4 chapter way. So after that you have to come to me to learn. I can't explain in one, this kind of one-to-one is required to understand that. So, but there is a very scientific method of creating a collection. That's my proud page. I got so many awards.
Ma'am, we have a question for you. Looking at your body that is so in creative splendor, we would like you to make a resolution in today's session about how one can elevate one's design perspective.
आपकी ना आवाज गूंज रही
How
है.
one can elevate one's design perspective.
One can elevate a design perspective. अभी तो हमने आपको जरा सा लिविंगस्टोन सीगल की कहानी सुनाई है. अब उसका ना कोई I feel this creative field is a very fluid kind of a situation. You cannot fix it in a like a shape. You can't put a boundary to that. तो ये आपके ऊपर है, आपके अंदर कितना जुनून है, आप किस तरीके से उसको सोचते हैं. अगर आप इम्प्रोवाइज करते जाते हैं तो when to stop, when to allow yourself not to tamper with the original idea so much. At the same time, have a complete conviction for your intuitive thought, which came to you in a flash in the beginning. ये बहुत सारी बारीक बातें हैं जो आपको while you are working at it, आपके mentors के साथ आप शेयर कर सकते हो. वो आपको इसमें गाइड करेंगे. In my journey, somehow my clients were my mentors. Or sometimes when I happen to get this coffee making offer, Sanjay ji became my mentor. Though I also feel like when two creative minds interact and work together, we always reach to a third dimension. That's the method of elevating your design idea, because you incorporate the other person's ideas and the other person also understands your idea. So both of them together reach to a newer height. So there are many interactive sessions in the college project when 2-3 students work together on one collection. It's giving respect to the other's ideas also, giving the other person a listening ear also at the same time. And then coming out with a third possibility. So I think always having an open mind is the key to it.
Now, the takeaway question from today's masterclass.
Yeah.
What are the top 3 tips you would like to call out for becoming an ace costume designer?
What are the top?
What are the top 3 tips that you would like to call out for us to become an ace costume designer?
Understand the character. Don't apply your fashion mind at that time. You understand the character of the storyline and emotions and its practicality. That's one of the key factors. And of course, मैंने काफ़ी सारे टिप्स ऑलरेडी दे दिए. अब याद में क्या मैंने बोला आप लोग को याद रखना है. I have said what I have said in the flow. The other factor that I told you, keep an open mind, listen to others, respect the other person's ideas, and then allow yourself to be in a fluid, flowing manner, don't be rigid. इस तरह की simple बातें.
Now, we would like the audience to ask any questions if they have any. If anyone has any questions.
Hello, ma'am. As we got mentioned, we all as students enjoy your work and we appreciate it and aspire to be half as good as you. And I'm pretty sure throughout your career would have faced a lot of drops and boulders. But as a designer, what hardships do you face, and you think we would also face when we enter the industry?
I think hardship is a state of mind which you recreate within yourself. If you love your God and if you kind of wanting to, give your best, तो hardship नहीं लगती है मुझे जब at the moments not only while doing the costume designing or delivery of the costumes at the right time, उसके अलावा भी बहुत challenging times आते हैं जिसमें कि within a certain timeline we have to complete so and so. So one has to be very positive and creative also to solve any problems which comes to you. You cannot start blaming the person or blaming the situation. तो ये hardships बाद में लगती हैं. जब मैं अभी यहाँ सोच रही हूँ, मैं बैठी हूँ, तो मैं जब पुरानी बातें याद करती हूँ तो मुझे तब याद आता है कि वो तो बहुत हार्ड टाइम था. But while I was in that situation, I somehow didn't allow that to become, मेरे को मुझे हॉबी नहीं होने दिया. You have to somehow tackle it in the most positive manner. कि ये मैंने कर डालना है.
Thank you. I have one question. Which one of your works would you say is your personal favorite?
एक मैंने कलेक्शन बनाई थी स्वदेशी, which was totally खादी fabric में थी, and you can again watch it on YouTube. So it was so soothing and beautiful, and I love my country actually. और जब मैंने पूरा कन्याकुमारी से कश्मीर तक कहते हैं ना, वो पूरी जो मैंने भारत भ्रमण किया है, so the whole the मिट्टी of this country is in my DNA. तो जब मैंने स्वदेशी कलेक्शन बनाई थी तो I was very it's one of my favorite still, and I presented it with the with the Gandhi Katishma and all that. It was still very beautiful. I think we recreated everything got sold out. But still it can be, if I make it again, it will be still a hot seller.
Hello ma'am. As you mentioned, you have visited almost 24 villages. So my question is very basic. That is, how did you manage to be there, and what was the most significant learning of yours which you later displayed in your design and in your design language?
माइक थोड़ी सी गूंजती है तो पूरा समझ में नहीं आती है.
So basically, as you mentioned, you have almost visited 24 villages. So my question was from you, that how did you manage to be there, and what was the most significant learning of yours which you later on aid into your design and you have shown it in your design language?
You are asking about my village visits.
Yeah, actually, so the most prominent and significant learning of yours.
See, I used to visit one sector, one region at a time. अगर मैं suppose कीजिए, if I am going to Kutch and Gujarat, so I worked and learned in that village for the next 2 years. It wasn't as if कि आज मैं यहाँ चली गई, आज वहाँ चली गई, ऐसा नहीं था, because each region has a lot to teach you. And if I was working in Kutch and Bhuj, so they have this Rabari embroidery, then they have this tie-and-dye Bandhani culture, then they have this Bajirao weave also. So to learn and understand, and then get my design interpretation, then develop something, and then go back to the city and create a collection out of that. तो एक रीजन में मुझे 2 साल काम करना पड़ता था. और टू एंड फ्रो करते थे. I used to just be there for a week, 10 days, then come back, and after a month or so, again I will go to the universe again. So it was, as I said, 24 villages I worked with. And it doesn't mean that मेरे को 40 साल हो गए, ऐसी बात नहीं है. कहीं पे 2 साल के अंदर 3-4 गाँव आसपास होते हैं, उस जगह काम करा. जैसे तमिलनाडु, केरला, ये एक ही रीजन कहलाता था. फिर बनारस, लखनऊ, ये एक रीजन होता था. फिर राजस्थान is one region, Kashmir is one region, even this Maharashtra, which is Nagpur, Patan, Rajkot, that used to be one region. Andhra Pradesh is another area where this Vijayawada and Khadi. The Khadi of Andhra Pradesh is the best because it has a dry climate, and that's how the cotton over there is grown the most, in a healthy way. So, if I've understood your questions correctly, yeah. That's what I want. Okay.
My question is that, can you describe how you started your career and what problems you faced in starting that, and how you solved that problem?
That's a very, very big time for me. I started in a small little room of mine. And I had no money, and I just started with one master tailor, and in the morning I used to attend to the clients, and after 6 o'clock I will cycle to the village portion of the city. गाँव में जैसे पुरानी गलियों में जैसे जगह होती है, and I used to work with my master till night 12 o'clock or so, and then I'll come back home, and then in the morning again I will start by 8 o'clock. So it used to be a very, very small, एक मास्टर टेलर से काम शुरू किया था, और by God's grace it just multiplied overnight. And somehow the clients found me. Then I, came out and asked people, will you come and visit me? Somehow मुझे नहीं पता, word of mouth, it kept on, progressing and multiplying. So maybe बहुत मैं अपनी internal I can say commitment and एक positive energy से बना रही थी, जो मैं बना रही थी बहुत दिल से बना रही थी. So I think that's the major ingredient of the success, that you need to do with conviction and with love and a lot of positive energy.
What was the problem? You started, there are so many problems you had faced. Let's elaborate one of them, which we might face in our time.
So there are problems जो इसमें अभी भी आ सकती है, because nowadays the scenario has changed. In my time, I'm talking about 1990, you may not have been born at that time only. So there were very few designers. Now there are many, and it has become very organized. So now we cannot start in that one very small corner because we will be lost. I feel that for the 2-3 years, one should go to the industry, do a job under the relative designer, and understand the whole working behind it, which is the costing also, the commercial side also, the control of the pattern and the design also. So these are the very, very practical things which is already, like people have already sorted this out. तो आप फिर से ABCD शुरू नहीं कर सकते। आज के तारीख में आपको 2-3 साल 4 साल किसी के अंदर में जॉब करना पड़ेगा। After that, when you feel that okay, you have understood the whole practical issues of a garment making, then maybe you can launch on your own. And when you launch on your own, there are so many legal side of it, GST, taxation है, आपकी how to take care of the labor issues, and so it has to be very organized now. In my days, it wasn't such a huge problem, and even if it was a problem, somehow side by side हम tackle करते गए. But if I have to start again in today's time, I will start by applying under the designer. Maybe I can approach Anju Modi and work under her.
Maybe somewhere I'll be there. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
How do you balance Indian heritage with your contemporary designs for the couture lines?
You have to repeat.
Okay. I was asking, like, how do you balance the line of your heritage, like our Indian heritage, and your contemporary design for your couture lines and collections, while giving justice to the artists that make
You need to say how do you do the justice to the heritage and then interpretation of it as of today's requirement.
Yes.
See, we are all a product of yesteryears, and we have understood our heritage. We have lived with it, so we kind of don't have to learn it somehow. But as I initially also explained, that designing means design as in today's requirement, right? So, as in today's time, if you take a traditional or heritage design as an inspiration, you can always tweak it in a way where it becomes a little modern and smart, as we call it modern India. So, I somehow excel in my own way in a more on the traditional and heritage side. But as I shared with you another collection which was the military collection, or another one which was, as I talked about, the Swadeshi collection, they are very modern, very contemporary. But at the same time, the soul of it is our very own, that heirloom, heritage, our museum design inspired collection they have. Like even if I did that heritage collection, I use those elephant motifs and certain motifs which are very much there in our archive of the museums. So how you interpret it in today's your day-to-day dressing, if you are traveling, you cannot keep on wearing those old silk sarees. So how do we convert it into a smart jacket, trouser, a short dress, long dress, whatever is in trend? We are all copying English. So the whole world has become a small little, global village. So that is a way of how you interpret the inspiration into today's need. That's a designer's creativity.
Thank you so much.
information or fashion. Nobody knows about fashion at that time. Right? There are so many rural areas. So what inspired you to come in this?
Well, actually, I had to, that's a very personal goal, and I had to leave my marital home and go to my brother in Bangalore to stay. And as I was not having any financial support, except I was staying, of course, with my brother. So my brother was in exports, textile exports. So through him I got introduced to these regions of the village, and then out of my own zeal, I kept on exploring more and more. So it doesn't have any inspiration, I would say, but I would say the convenience of textile was there, and I was hell-bent on earning my own living. And then when I started going there, then I realized, okay, this is something which is very much like my kind of thing, and it fascinates me. And very naturally it came to me to keep on designing, since I was already sketching in my early childhood. So I would say it was a very natural progression on my side. I did not sit and wait for any inspiration. I just started as my need of dowel, and then went to the textile village, and then I realized that this is very interesting, and that's how I just found it.
Thank you so much for sharing your experiences.
Good evening, ma'am. My question to you is that as a professional in field, how do you say one can build meaningful relationships with artisans, mentors, or collaborators as a new partner in the field?
We are talking of the relationship of the artisan, mentor,
As a newcomer, as a professional, what advice would you give to newcomers to build meaningful relationships with the artisans, mentors, and collaborators?
our country, as we call it, our culture and our sanskar is the great teacher for this kind of thought, because you respect the artisan, the mentor, and everyone. So it is actually thinking of each one as their own family, and it's a complete, I would say, जैसे कहते हैं ना, दिल दिमाग मिला के जब आप काम करते हो, तो आपके अपने आप उसमें बहुत सुंदर कुछ ना कुछ बनता है. So it is a feeling of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Like everywhere, wherever I used to go to these south villages or even in Banaras or anywhere, the weather used to be sometimes very hot, the streets used to be dirty, even at the artisans' home. I would sit on the floor and talk to them. So the real appreciation for their art and the respect for their knowledge used to be the binding factor, and they will appreciate me. So somehow you create a beautiful relationship with this kind of a thought process. आप कहीं पे भी जाते हो ना, आपकी जो thought process है वही relationship बनाती है. You convey that kind of energy to the other person, and then the other person conveys it back, and that's how the bonding happens.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. So my question to you is, what trends or innovations do you foresee shaping the design industry in the coming years?
What? Sorry?
What trends or innovations do you foresee shaping the design industry in the coming years?
अभी तो इनोवेशंस के नाम पे काफ़ी वियर्ड चीज़ें बन गई हैं. So trying to be different, people are trying all different things.
Thank you for the questions.
So my belief is that the comfort and the practicality factor should be there. And as far as trend is concerned, as the French people have also started campaigning for the sustainable factor, a lot of those synthetic materials will be discarded. The lycras and those polyester fabrics, they will be rejected by the audience world over, and people will go back to the natural fibers, and AI is coming in a big way, which one can understand. You Gen Z people are understanding and utilizing it a lot more. But the more the AI comes in, the more value will be given to the handwork and the craft work, because AI cannot do the craft work. So in the coming years, the trend is going to be the natural fiber, the sustainability, and the artistic handwork. And what I've realized, all you students, when you come to us as an intern or as an employee, I've seen that you do a lot of computer-aided design. And when I ask you to do anything by hand, you can't do that. I mean, it's for the NIFT faculty also. अगर मेरा बस चले तो कंप्यूटर से स्केच करा हुआ, डिज़ाइन करा हुआ तो मैं अलाउ ही ना करूँ, बिकॉज देन यू लूज द टच ऑफ द हैंड. एंड जो खूबसूरती आपके हर स्केच में है वो कंप्यूटर स्केच में नहीं है. जो खूबसूरती आप अपने हैंड पेंट से, पेंसिल से उसको स्केच करके क्रिएट कर सकते हैं, वो कंप्यूटर से नहीं है. सो आई थिंक इन द coming years, the trend is going to be go back to the handwork.
Thank you, ma'am.
This will be the last question, everyone. This will be the last question, everyone.
Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, my question.
Where are you? Okay.
Ma'am, my question to you is that in a country overflowing with talent, what do you think it is that sets a designer apart? Like, is it originality, is it consistency, storytelling, or something else entirely?
माइक थोड़ी गूंजती है डार्लिंग, फिर से बोलना पड़ेगा.
Ma'am, in an industry overflowing with talent, what do you think is something that sets a designer truly apart? Like, is it originality, is it consistency, storytelling, or something else entirely?
A lot many things now, not only design के साथ साथ in today's world, a lot of other aspect of design is required. Firstly, a cost-effective manufacturing, communication to the world. Otherwise, you will not know where is that little dot is there. The world will not even hear about the person. So the communication, the very strong message has to be conveyed very intelligently, very creatively. And a lot of those AI generated reels and the ideas and the shoot and many more things. Now the design is the core, yes, but other than that, other aspect has to be supported well. The commercial angle, the cost-effective angle, the right time, the right design, at the right price is the mantra now.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your experiences with us and the audience for bringing up so many interesting questions. May I now request Director Sir to kindly come forward and felicitate our guest, Ms. Anju Modi.
Anju.
Before we go ahead, on behalf of our team, our faculty, all students, all staff of NIFT and NIFT Patna campus, I wanted to extend a very heartfelt thank you for you to take out your time and to be with us here today and to share life through your experiences. And in the last half an hour, we have got a glimpse of what your journey has been, and it has been truly enlightening. So now I'll quote your LinkedIn profile because it is absolutely wonderful. It says you are a traveler, thinker, a dreamer.
Yes, yes.
And yes, we have realized today that it is actually true. And in a way, there are many takeaways that we have all gained from you today. Some of them are that even if you rise to the pinnacle of your success, like we said, you need to be extremely humble. You need to be hardworking. And those are the traits which will always stand good. And you will continue onwards to the path of success. Another thing which I want to highlight is when you say that work is a kind of meditation. So I would like to further amplify to our students that meditation gives focus. And focus is when your entire energy and your being as such will be, sort of given to the work you are so passionate about. So that is one takeaway which has been very open. You also mentioned that even at any stage of life, you have always been open to ideas, to listen to others, and to always adapt. So that is another thing which our students need to understand. Apart from your ideas, always try and absorb and understand the perspective of the other person. Very soon you will also be moving, you will be interacting with a lot of artisans during the Sye Raa and CTTP and other visits. So that is the time you have to look at the world through their eyes. And lastly, something which is very important, and thank you for sharing with us, that if you are good, people will find you, work will find you, success will find you. You don't need to run behind anything. So that has been such, and so many other things. They've all been such great takeaways for all of us. So thank you once again.
Thank you so much. And it was a lovely, lovely interactive session. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Thank you again. It's so beautifully Madhubani, eh?
Yeah, and it is a Ghicha silk.
Haan
This
ji.
is called write-up are given to Shiva.
Okay.
And he will share it with you.
Thank you so much.
And this is our NIFT logo.
Oh,
which
thank
is so,
you.
it's more than richly visible.
Thank you so much.
We'll give this to
Surely. Yeah.
Shiva.
हाँ जी, हाँ जी.
Please come.
Yeah.
He will.
Thank you, Director Sir, and thank you, ma'am, for the amazing and insightful session and masterclass on design. Thank you, audience, for being patient, and I hope you gain a lot of knowledge. On your right side, you will be able to see the designs of Bajirao, Mastani, and Ramleela made by Anju